Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl if you are new here, and today I'm here to bring you my February TBR. Now I know this is already like a week or so into February and a lot of people already have their TBRs made. However, I don't typically do TBRs. If you've been on my channel before, you may have noticed that. I may have done them before in the past, like with readathons, or I think when I first started my channel I started to do TBRs. But TBRs are just not for me. I have a really hard time sticking to them for some reason. I'm very much a mood reader, which is probably why I have a hard time sticking to them. I can list off like 5 books I'm like, oh, I want to read in this moment, but like I'll finish one of them and then when it comes time to pick up one of the other books, I'm like, I'm not feeling these. But I'm doing a buddy read this month, and these are a couple other books that I'm like really in the mood for. And I'm only making this TBR 3 books long, and I hope to read at least 6 books this month. So I'm leaving myself a lot of wiggle room for mood reading, as well as like try to get these books read, because maybe I'll finally get them read, you know, having like made this video, made this goal. So the first book I'm want to put on my February TBR is a book I'm actually buddy reading, like I said, and I'm buddy reading it with Bree from Bree Reads Books, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. I am like 130-ish pages into this so far, and it's really good, kind of creepy. I imagine the creep is just gonna the creepy level is just gonna get higher and higher from here. I've heard really fantastic things about this series and this book as a whole. I've heard that it is diverse, it is creepy, and like just really well written, and I am enjoying it a lot so far. I'm also enjoying buddy reading for the first time, being able to message her and be like, oh, did you get to this part? This is kind of crazy, or something along those lines. And it's an interesting reading experience because, like I said, I haven't buddy read yet, but I hope to finish this one probably within the next few days if I can help it. It's kind of a long book, but I'm really intrigued by the story so far, and I don't find it a chore to read, which is always a good thing, especially for my first buddy read. So the second book I want to read this month is Byrd Box by Josh Malerman. I've seen this book pop up more recently on BookTube. I don't know if it is a recent debut or a recent publication, or if people have just gotten their hands on it recently, but I've heard quite a few channels talk about this, and I got it for like $1.99 on Kindle the other day, and I am in the mood for creepy reads, obviously. It's kind of stemming off The Diviners, where it's like, ooh, this is kind of spooky, and I'm kind of in the mood for that. So I decided to go ahead and try to pick this one up. All I really know about it is that it takes place in like this town or this world, I don't know what the scope of this is, where there's this monster or this thing that kills people, but people can't see it because once they do, it either immediately kills them or they go insane. It sounds very Lovecraftian, and in this way that's like a horror you cannot see. And actually Bree and I have been talking about that book as well, and she said she read it and absolutely loved it, and it was really creepy, really into like sense deprivation, which I'm very interested to see how that plays out in a book, because I have not read any books like that. But I'm looking forward to picking that up, especially if I'm still in the mood for a spooky book after The Diviners, even though it is like not the spooky month. And the last book I hope to like officially get to in February. Like I said, I hope to read more books in this, and I've actually already read one book, but the last one on my list is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I have not read this before, and I know it is a favorite of a lot of fantasy readers, and I am intimidated to get into the series for a couple of reasons. First, this floppy paperback is like almost 600 pages, and the font is quite small, and it's a big book. It's a chunker. And another reason I'm intimidated to start the series is it is hyped by basically every fantasy lover on BookTube that I follow. Everyone has read this and either loved it, or I mean, I know a few that don't like it, but most people absolutely love this series. And that always intimidates me starting a book, because it's very hard for me to like separate myself from the hype, and that's kind of something you have to do going into these really popular titles, or else your expectations are set way too high and inevitably you get disappointed. So that's another reason I haven't started this. But the final and like most pressing reason I haven't started this is the fact that like there's only 2 books published in this series, but the second one I believe leaves off either on a cliffhanger or it's not an ending, and we have literally no idea when the next one's gonna come out, if it's ever gonna come out. And the idea of starting a series that I'm going to potentially absolutely love and then never be satisfied because I won't have the third one or any more in the series. That hurts me. So for those reasons, I have been hesitant to start this. However, I think February is the month. I am always into a good fantasy read, and I've heard, like I said, nothing really but good things about this. I have heard that Quoth, I'm not 100% sure how to say his name, is kind of an unreliable narrator in that he is telling his own story and exaggerates a bit sometimes. So I'm looking forward to that because it is not the typical narrator I get in a lot of books I read. But yes, this is the last one I hope to officially get to this February. So like I said, those 3 books are just some books I hope to get to this month. Obviously, I hope to read more than these 3 books. In fact, I started off February by finishing A Court of Mist and Fury, my reread of it. I started at like the very end of January and like finished it within the first few days of February before starting the Diviners. So I hope to read these books and then maybe 1 or 2 more if it is a good reading month. February is a short month, so I don't know how many books I will officially get to. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media, which is always linked down below, and I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye!